Hi everyone, this is Migs from Seasonable PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Air Jordan 4 Lightning. Then before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also be leaving a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope you can join us over there because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit. And it's also where we have the SNBPH Steel Cabinet, where I take some shoes that I no longer use, or some shoes I've reviewed in the past, and put them up for bidding at way below market value. Then if you haven't already, I do hope you can sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. Then with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Air Jordan 4 Lightning 2021 Retro. The 2021 release of the Jordan 4 Lightning is actually the first ever retro of the shoe, which originally debuted in 2006. In the year 2006, these did release in tandem with the Thunder colorway, with the Thunder being the all-black version. The Jordan 4 Lightning and the Jordan 4 Thunder were actually colorways that were made to kind of highlight the Jordan Motorsports theme. Fast forward to a couple of years after 2006 and they actually changed their color to blue, which does explain why in 2017 when Jordan released the Motorsport Jordan 4s and the Motorsport Alternates, they were predominantly blue instead of yellow. These are definitely a grail for me though, and I really did not think I would ever get this shoe because when these did release in 2006, it was a limited online release and I was definitely not going to be able to ask my parents for these at the time, and when I did get older and get a job, it was like thousands of dollars, so that was a big nope. So I'm just definitely super happy that Jordan brand released these again. Then the 2021 release of the Jordan 4 Lightning is actually not commanding a really high resale value, which on one hand is kind of surprising because this shoe was crazy limited in 2006, but on the other hand I'm not too surprised because a lot of people haven't really been digging these colored Jordans. I mean, these Lightnings don't have crazy resale value. The Raging Bull Jordan 5s in that all red weren't crazy either, and the Jordan 5 Michigan and Jordan 5 Oregon weren't also that hard to get on the resale market. It might just be that people don't find it as wearable, but for me personally, I really like this and it fits my style. But I guess that is good news if you missed out on these for retail, because the resale price on these yellow, these green, these red Jordans isn't really that much above retail. One last thing about the shoe before we get into more detail with the tech specs is that the quality is insane, and I did already say in my Jordan 4 UNC video that I think it had the best quality materials of any Jordan this year, but I do feel like the Jordan 4 Lightning does even better. So if you're a fan of yellow, you're a fan of Jordan 4s, you're a fan of Jordan brand history, and if you're a fan of super good materials, then this is definitely a no-brainer. So now to take a closer look at the shoe, let's look at the tech specs. So starting off with the traction, the Lightning colorway does have that usual Jordan 4 outsole with that full-length herringbone pattern. It is solid all throughout with this gray, but you also have a white section here at the ball of the foot and a white cord out section here at the midfoot. You also have those stars here at the toe, and just like with the Jordan 1 and the Jordan 3, I think it definitely is a good indicator of how much the shoe has been used. So with that being said, if you are buying a slightly used pair and they said that they just used it a few times, maybe 2 to 3 times, and those stars on the toe are worn down, you definitely know that they're lying. So it's definitely a good indicator on the Jordan 4s, the Jordan 3s, and the Jordan 1s of whether the pair you're getting is dead stock or used. Then the Jordan 4 is a shoe from 1989, so that herringbone outsole isn't just grippy, but it also is super durable. It will definitely take quite some time to wear these down, even if you use these for walking outside. Then moving on to the cushion, the Jordan 4 does have a full-length polyurethane midsole with an encapsulated air unit here in the forefoot and a visible air unit in the heel. Polyurethane was the cushion of choice up until Jordan 9, and though it was pretty good for its time, it definitely lacks a lot of the comfort and plushness of today's foam midsoles. It definitely feels pretty basic and pretty neutral when you first try these on, but Jordan brand has been kinda tweaking the polyurethane mix on their midsoles to make them a bit more comfy and a little closer to the OG feeling. You also have those air units here in the heel and in the forefoot, and in my experience with these newer Jordan 4s, the more that you wear them and break them in, you can actually start to feel the air units underneath. Then one more nice bonus with the Jordan 4 Lightning is that they actually included a polyurethane insole inside, which definitely helps with the step-in comfort, and the good thing about polyurethane insoles is that they last a really long time. So for the cushion, it definitely isn't anything to write home about, and I would definitely not use these to play basketball, but for casual wear it is pretty comfy and it is definitely more comfortable than the Jordan 1, and also the more you wear these and break these in, they'll get more comfortable underfoot. Then for the materials, I think this is definitely the star of the show when it comes to this shoe, because the quality on the upper of the shoe is just simply immaculate. The Jordan 4 Lightning does have an all nubuck upper, and the nubuck isn't only on the main panels of the shoe, but you can also find it here on the tongue, those lace wings here at the back, and the heel tab. Prior to this, I think the best nubuck we had on a shoe recently would be the Jordan 3 Cool Grays. And of course, we also had the Jordan 4 UNC with that really nice suede. But I think this just takes the cake in terms of the overall quality, because not only do you have that really nice nubuck, but you also have it all around the shoe. I also really like how the heel tab has the nubuck because it is pretty soft. So even if you wear ankle socks or no-show socks, these won't dig into the back of your leg like those other Jordan 4s with that rubber heel tab. Then for the other materials on the shoe, you do have some plastic with the lace crowns, mesh here on the midfoot panel and the tongue that has that rubber netting on top. Then rounding out the rest of the materials, you do have flat laces, that nylon flight patch here on the top of the tongue, and a super soft and padded textile sock liner. I really love the padding on the Jordan 4s, which is why it's definitely one of my favorite Jordans to wear, just because it hugs your foot really nicely and feels super plush. So for the materials, there really isn't anything to complain about with the Jordan 4 Lightning. I do think it has the best materials we've seen from a Jordan shoe this year. And once again, if you really do like premium feeling materials on Jordans, then this is definitely it. Then moving on to fit and sizing, I did go true to size with the Jordan 4, and it fits me perfectly. I do go with my standard size 10 on all Jordan 4s, and this pretty much fits the same as all of them. So for my recommendation on the sizing, if you do have a narrow foot, a normal width foot, or a wide foot, you can definitely go true to size. But if you want a bit of a looser fit as a wide footer, you can also go up half a size. Then for the aesthetic details, even though the shoe does look pretty loud because of that yellow color, the Jordan 4 Lightning is just pretty much a clean mix of yellow, dark gray, and white. So for the outsole, for the most part, it is that gray, but you do have some parts with white rubber, like here underneath the ball of the foot, and here on the slightly cored out section at the midfoot. Then lastly, for the outsole, you do have that yellow Jumpman here in the middle, and like I said, the Jordan 4 Lightning did release in 2006, so instead of having that Nike Air branding like all of the OG pairs from 1989, the Lightning 4s just have Jumpman branding. Then moving on to the midsole, the gray rubber does come up quite a bit, but for the polyurethane, it is all white. It is quite a bit different from the usual Jordan 4 midsole because it is all white, and usually with the Jordan 4, you do have a different color for the top line of polyurethane, but I guess with the Lightning, since the upper is so bright, they decided to make it all white. Then here at the heel, of course, you do have your visible air unit, and the plastic window of the air unit is pretty much clear, with the pillars inside being white. Then moving on to the upper, it pretty much is 90% yellow. I mean, you have it on the nubuck panels, the mesh and nubuck on the tongue, the flat laces, and the sock liner. You do have some other hits on the upper though, like this gray on the wings at the back. You also have black here on the rubber netting on the midfoot and the tongue, smoky transparent lace crowns, and a gray Jumpman here at the heel. You also have a gray flight patch here on the tongue, with a white Jumpman and yellow flight text underneath. Here at the padding at the back of the tongue, it is gray, and then you also have that yellow nylon strip with Air Jordan in gray. Then for the last aesthetic detail, you do have a white insole and a gray Jumpman. So for the overall aesthetics, I just really love how the Jordan 4 looks. Not only does it look super premium because of the material choices, but it is also super unique when you compare it to a lot of the other Jordan colorways. We don't really have a lot of yellow Jordans. I mean, we have a lot of red ones, a lot of black ones, a lot of white ones, and a lot of UNC blue ones. So I think just having a yellow Jordan and it being on the Jordan 4 just really makes it stand out from all the rest. I did see quite a few reviews on this shoe before I made mine, and they did complain about, just having different shades of yellow on the shoe. But for me, it really isn't that big of an issue because there are slightly different shades from the nubuck to the laces to the lining. But in my own personal opinion, I think it just adds character to the shoe. I also really like some things they did on this colorway, like these lace crowns having that smoky transparent color, just because it looks super different and also looks super classy. I'm also a fan of having that netting black because, as most people who have old Jordan 4s know, when you have those pairs with the white netting like the Fire Red 4s, the White Cement 4s, or even whiter shoes like the Jordan 4 Pure Money, they definitely do get yellow over time. So just having that black netting kinda ensures that these don't yellow, and they'll still look pretty nice even as they age. I do like this colorway since it is pretty bright, but I also like the shade of yellow they used because it definitely isn't too much. So it's a good mix of having that wow factor with that yellow, but not overdoing it in the sense that it doesn't look like a highlighter. I just think these will look super sick, especially if you wear neutral colors, because these will really just be the star of your outfit and will be head-turning for sure. Then for the price, the Jordan 4 Lightning retails for 9,445 pesos here in the Philippines, or $220 US. definitely is quite expensive at $220 and I really do wish they could have gotten it down to $200 or $190, but I can't really dispute that the shoe looks and feels super premium. So you know, it is $220, but just the overall quality of the shoe is enough to let that slide. These were also surprisingly a pretty general release. However, of course, they still sold out, but the good thing is the resale prices on these as of now isn't too crazy. In the Philippines, I did see some listings that were selling these for around 11,000 pesos, which is just 1,500 pesos or $30 above the retail price. That's really good in my opinion for a shoe that was super limited in 2006. So I think even if you didn't hit on these for retail, you won't really be shelling out too much more if you buy it on the resale market. As always though, if you are gonna get these for resale, just make sure to look everywhere you can to make sure you can get these as close to retail as possible. So there you have it guys, that was my detailed review on the Air Jordan 4 Lightning. Once again, if you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already yet, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.